Everybody, and welcome to the Summer and Fall Begins spectacular of Bill Chase and the movies, as I got 9 films to review for you this week. And let's get right to it as we start with Halloween 2, the sequel to the 2007 remake or reimagining or whatever the heck you want to call it, directed by Rob Zombie. The first one in 2007 was bold, ambitious, slick, yet fatally flawed, predictable, and over-analytical. I ended up not recommending it, and sadly this film is much of the same. As Zombie figured with the box office numbers of the first film, he could repeat success. Now, the original 1978 Halloween film, directed by John Carpenter, was as perfect as any horror movie could be. A mysterious villain, the right twists and turns, and a likable actress in the lead, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, this isn't to say that Scout Taylor Compton isn't likable as the character of Laurie Strode, but she doesn't have the same type of innocence and, I guess you could say, strength that Jamie Lee Curtis's character did, and that's a fatal flaw for a film like this. Now, the film, like the original average sequel to Halloween 2 from 1981, picks up pretty much where we left off, as Laurie is taken to the hospital and Michael, presumably shot dead, is waiting for her. What this movie attempts to do is peer into the psyche that is Michael Myers, and there are many fantasy-like slash dream sequences in this film, and the scenes are very well shot and haunting, but yet the analysis into the mind of Michael Myers to me just defeats the whole purpose of what this character is about. We don't know what drives him, we don't know the methods of his madness, and that's what made the mystery of his character so interesting. Heck, we even knew why Leatherface was the way he was, but not Michael. And by doing that, Zombie completely defeats a mystery that made this character so legendary. I don't expect Rob Zombie to completely stay loyal to the original film, but I do expect him to stay loyal to the character. Now, the hospital scenes are actually done very well, but Zombie fails to deliver on much of anything else in this film. There aren't many unexpected scares at all. There's an overuse of a musical score that just fails to build any real tension, and it just causes us to roll our eyes sometimes. I mean, there are many times in this film where Myers literally has Laurie within his reach, but because the movie isn't near the end yet, hey, we gotta keep going with it. Anyway, the main story is that a year passes. Laurie is now living with Sheriff Lee Brackett, played in fine form by Brad Dourif, best known for his being the voice of Chucky from the Child's Play films, as well as Brackett's daughter, Laurie's best friend Annie, played again by Danielle Harris, who looks good for a 32-year-old playing a teenager. Laurie seems to be going into a downward spiral despite masking herself in a normal life. She too has dream sequences, and again, they're well shot, but really just lend nothing to this movie. But Michael returns, and here we go. Let the predictability begin. And much like the first film and Zombie's other films like House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, I admire what he's tried to do here. But he kind of strayed off the road and maybe tried a little too hard. I do believe Zombie really can bring something to the genre of horror, and he may be what some have called the saving grace to it, as his boldness rings very loud and true, but he needs to keep a steady path. Now, Malcolm McDowell overdoes it again, trying to duplicate the role made famous by the late Donald Pleasance as Dr. Sam Loomis. He was fine in the early scenes of the first film, but later in that film, as well as all of this one, he just really trails off. And despite this film having the same good qualities that the first film did, it has all the same bad ones too. And seeing it twice sours me just slightly more. What am I trying to say? Well, I was on the fence for the first Halloween film and ended up not recommending it, and giving it the dreaded 2.5 stars out of 5. Well, the second go round, I'm not going to be so generous, and I'm giving Halloween 2 2 stars out of 5.